Okay, so we are in day 35, and I decided to ask everybody to ask me questions and answer some questions about why I'm even doing this in the first place, what's the point, anything that came to mind. And I got a few questions. One was, what is your dream job, position, or career? And that's probably one of the hardest questions on there. I honestly have no idea. Mainly because I flip-flop between so many different interests. Talking about like being in tech and working in tech, which I really like. And I like working in tech and I find it interesting. I like fixing things. I like figuring stuff out. I like things working smoothly and being able to make efficient processes. However, I also really like being a musician and I like being creative. And I think it's like two parts of my brain because the technical part doesn't really focus more on the creativity, more so than get things done, figure things out. But the creative part gets to like do the things that I want to do, like make videos, edit, make music, have songs come out. So I don't know. I think it would be a mix of both. Like if I could be like working in tech and then also being a musician, like, and then going on occasional tours and stuff and then going back and working on tech again, I would think I would be happy with that just because that would be the coolest thing for me. Now, when I mean tech, I don't work in like coding or software, more so like IT, some security, but mainly networking, AV, break fix type of work. That's more my focus. So yeah, I could see that. Took me way too long to answer that question, by the way. So that was a question from Ronan Effect. The next question is from Kenny Sparks, and he has a few questions. One was, what was the moment or the sequence of events that led you to decide to start a YouTube channel? And I think that is really from having kind of a struggle with myself. I was struggling to make things creatively as a musician because I'm not the musician that sits and makes music every day, churning songs out until something sticks and then releasing that. I'm more so a spurt, burst type of artist, and I make things in bursts, and I hit this burst where I was making a lot and then I hit this funk, and part of that was like personal stuff and just struggling with that, mainly having figured it out, like ADHD and depression stuff. And then I kind of moved on from there and I was like, well, I want to get back into these creative endeavors, but I want to jump in hard and I want to be more motivated than just being a burst type of musician. Someone who creates things in bursts, someone who makes things spurs of time, where there's some time where I make a lot and then sometimes I make nothing. So I started the YouTube channel because I had the goal in mind to make one video every day. And I realized that that would spur my creativity in a way to actually motivate me to make something, like force me to figure something out, be creative, give myself that discipline, because I think I was driven very hard by motivation and not necessarily like discipline. And I could go on and on about motivation versus discipline, but the part that I focus on really is that my motivation, what can be low, and then I don't work. And the discipline is what makes me work. And I think making this challenge forced me to have discipline, even when it's hard, even when it's challenging, even when I'm tired, even when I had a long day at work, I actually go ahead and make the video or make the song. So that's the reason why I started the YouTube channel. And this also goes into the second question of what I've learned about myself since starting, is that I am that way, and this kind of forces me to not be that way. So this forces me to be more intentional and put more purpose into the things I make. I think it actually makes it more fun too, because I felt a lot of pressure, especially when my music career started to get bigger, to make things, and I never had the discipline. I just made stuff for fun and then posted it. And then when people are like, oh, we're expecting a track, or oh, we're coming out with an album, put something on there, oh, you have to have this track by a certain deadline, it started throwing me off because I never worked under these deadlines. It's never been a thing that worked for me. So this actually makes me kind of do that more. And then what is the ultimate version of the North Dakota YouTube channel? The ultimate version would be to create anything based in my creative thoughts. And that may be really vague, but I have a lot of things I'm interested in, and being able to tinker around and make things outside of just being a musician is kind of the goal. Like, I want the page to be more than music. For a long time I had this page and it was just dropping some music videos, some little stills, some snippets, but I've always wanted a YouTube channel, and I know people say that, oh, I always wanted a YouTube channel. I always wanted one, but I think I was choosing between music and the videos, and now I don't have to, because I can make music as North Dakota, and then you all can see the behind the scenes of that. Maybe you could see more music related stuff. Maybe you could see more of my digital minimalism philosophy type stuff. Being a philosophy tech double major, I'm big into philosophy and I learned a lot from that. So I was doing that and tech at the same time. So I have those interests that I want to show you, and I have things that I like to talk about and I like to say. And I have DIY projects. I make stuff a lot using kind of like my tech background. I've created a lot of things in the past, and I was able to make stuff that I really liked. So it would challenge me to make DIY projects, post them on here, post my philosophy talks on here, post my music stuff, post my digital minimalist stuff, my tech stuff, and kind of create this world of North Dakota for the channel that encompasses everything that I'm doing as North Dakota, not just North Dakota the musician, but as North Dakota the person, as Mac the person. Another question from Drizzle Boy asks, what challenges have you encountered trying to reach your audience, whether it be music or YouTube? What have you found works, and what have you found has held you back? So that's a good question. When I first started making music and reaching audiences, I think one of the things that I made as a rookie mistake was just like trying to talk to everybody, trying to see like if I could get feedback, trying to get feedback on every song from family, from friends, from musicians, from acquaintances. And I realized that I did not benefit from feedback. I did not benefit from feedback. It's kind of like a tongue twister. But it didn't help me, because I am someone, if you've heard any of my music, and some of it's probably been playing in the background, I don't make traditional music in the way that people can really wrap their head around. And it's not me like flexing, like, oh, I make weird music, but people are used to what they're used to, right? So you live in the world of making electronic music. People are going to tell you to make electronic music a certain way. People are going to tell you to mix a certain way. People are going to tell you to make the song a certain way. If you live in the world of lo-fi, people are going to tell you to mix a certain way. People are going to tell you to make a song a certain way. People are going to give their input as musicians or as what they want to hear. And frankly, I just don't think you can please everyone if you're asking everyone for feedback. You're going to keep tweaking the song until it's not to your liking at all. You won't even like it because you have tried to listen to everybody that you actually pleased nobody. So I personally just don't ask for feedback. I will play a song for someone after I'm finished with it, and I'll ask what they think, and if they don't like it, then whatever. If they like it, then great. But I'll show them my finished work, but I never ask for feedback anymore, and that has helped a lot reaching my audiences, because it focuses my interest of how I want to make songs, and it shows the true colors of my music. Because in all reality, my music lies between electronic music and lo-fi music. It has the electronic parts of the synths and the sounds and the drums and that, but then it also has the peaceful kind of laid back vibe of lo-fi and some of the lo-fi elements of mixing that I do on purpose, and I put them together. And people be like, oh, that's bad mixing, oh, this is, dude, it's whatever. It's the song is going to be made the way I like it, and I mix based on what I like to hear. And if someone doesn't like it, then that's fine. But I've seen that multiple people have liked it, so it should be somewhat okay at least. So I think that has helped me propel my sound, even going on When the Night Falls. That song was so different than everything else, but in reality, it was because I actually focused on making what I wanted, and that song actually resonated with my audience the most. In terms of YouTube, I guess I'm too new to think about what works and what held me back. I know that I kind of do shorts and videos, but I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but definitely in music, Sounds like my neighbors are wrestling. But especially in music, that's the biggest takeaway I probably have. Then I have one last question, and it was about playing shows and how I booked shows. And I actually have a whole video on it, but booking shows is really about how much you want to put in to find them. I know people say get a music manager, get a music marketer. I'm gonna be real, I couldn't afford one. That wasn't gonna happen. So I had to figure this out on my own, and a lot of it was cold emails, writing them well, having sets to show to people, because I think a lot of people write those cold emails and expect people to just listen to their Spotify link. But in reality, a Spotify link is not going to be enough for them to know what your set is gonna sound like. Because at the end of the day, you could be a good musician and a good producer, and you could make banger songs all day, but if you are not good at DJing, then it's probably not gonna work. So they want to see your DJing, because in reality, being a producer does not make you a DJ, and being a DJ does not make you a producer. That's why people put DJ/producer, because you could be one or the other, or you could be both, but they won't know that from listening to your Spotify link. So making those mixes, making those sets, showing them free shows, playing something for free. I'm not saying to do that all the time, but having some experience where you can even gather friends and family around and play in your apartment and record it. They don't know that's not a professional set. You could show that stuff and create something and then show them that. It's like making a portfolio for yourself. So that's what I would do to book a show. These were all great questions. I appreciate y'all. And if you got to the end of the video, then subscribe to see all 365 days, and I will see you tomorrow.